welcome to Reading the Game, a series where I read things from games, and then you understand the game, and I understand the game, and I get one less book on my 10,000, and you get to know more about your favourite games. It's a win-win for everyone. And today we're doing a bit more Library of Ruina. I know I've done a few videos on Library of Ruina, but I wanted to adjust to this sort of setting so that we can read it together and learn about it together. I haven't read these before because I tend to do it on stream, but I'll read them again for everyone's benefit, for my benefit, for your benefit, everyone's benefit. So today we're talking about the Streetlight Office. Now this office, this is the first time I already started feeling a bit sad for these people so much, because all the other offices so far, I mean, let's have a look. We've got Desperate. Yun's office wasn't too bad. Yun had a little bit of humanity in there, but barely human at that point. Psychotic murderers, Sweeney Todd, and the Streetlight Office. Streetlight was the most normal people office we had so far. So let's go. Should we go in order that they died? I think that's a good idea. So that would be Mars first, wouldn't it? So let me just get out the way so you can read along if you wish. Let's read. My mother was a fixer with a high grade that everyone of my peers would dream of reaching. She was the envy of all, a radiant individual who receives endless supplies of various expensive equipment and garnered constant recruit officers from other offices. Does that mean I had a safe, comfortable childhood under the care and wealth of such a wonderful person? Had that been the case, I would have already been in one of the wings already. Being the son of a high-ranked fixer, I was often targeted by syndicates opposing her, and my mother's acquaintances held high expectations of me. At first, I was okay with their expectations. I was already dreaming of following the path of my mother. In fact, I was hoping to live up to it and hear her compliments such as, "I knew you would make it," from others. "Yes, I'm going to become a great fixer just like my mother. Then she'll be proud of me one day, right? She'll proudly say, 'That's my boy,' in front of others." I studied hard, day after day, taking no breaks in between. Countless times I held my sword with a strong resolve, and many days I spent weeping alone. Even if I faced setbacks and failures, I believed I could overcome them and stand strong, like the protagonist of a movie, if I could actually become someone great. But in the end, I grew into an ordinary, aspiring fixer, and I learned that I was only an average person with no talent to show off. When I entered an ordinary office with my ordinary capabilities, my mother seemed very glad to hear the news. She said an associate office of the Zwei is a good start, and that I'll certainly be able to become successful if I work my way up slowly. However, I was greatly disappointed in myself. I couldn't look my mother in the eyes until I said my final goodbyes and left the house. Poor old Mars has such a chip on his shoulder. The mummy issues are real. However, it's the first time you really hear about a family and actually someone being raised here. Because one of the biggest questions I always have with this series is how do children survive long enough to become adults? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. We don't question it though, because it's a fun series and we don't want to question it. It's fun. But it's interesting to have a story of like what it's like to grow up here, even if this is a story mainly of just being overshadowed by his mother. So, good old Mars dies. This is the first time in this game we actually have people escape. So then we have Lulu! Sweet, sweet baby. how dare she actually, you know, care about people in a universe where people die so much. Oh, let's read Lulu's page and her friends' pages. Ugh, crap. Another day without work. Fantastic. There's got to be some case for us to take care of, like fly tipping or something. I'm gonna forget how to move at this rate. I told my friends about this. They're gonna whine like, well, isn't it a good thing that you have a lot of free time? Or, well, you're well off. We're about to starve from lack of requests. Those dummies. Think about it for a moment. You need results to promote, to better fix your grades, and see some growth in your office, right? And that's gonna lead to a higher income for us. For now, I'm working with my boss, San, and some dork shaped like a rice cake. And some dork shaped like a ball of rice cake. You love that dog. Shut up. But things could be better than in the future, yeah? It's not like I have problems with my co-workers, Baka. I'm talking about stuff like weapons and office interior, you know, those kind of things. You get what I mean? I do bicker with Mars and snap at him often, yeah, but that doesn't mean I hate him, Baka. San and Mars are both precious colleagues to me. Though, yeah, I know what you're about to say. If fixers develop feelings for each other, it could be much harder to bear whatever happens to them down the line. I know what I'm doing is stupid. I have wits, unlike Mr. Ricecake Face. But we're human. It's just something that can't be helped. How could we strictly detach ourselves from one another and focus on work? I tried acting nonchalant, I did, but I guess I can't do it. Sam says he feels the same. Gotta envy Mars for being cool-headed all the time. Sweet baby. But we're human is a line that somehow gets ignored a lot with a lot of characters. I don't feel like they remember what it's like to be human in some cases. But Lulu was very human. Many people have been turned into monsters in more ways than one in this city. So it's always sad and interesting when we find someone who's kept their humanity. But what about Lulu's friends? A peacekeeping office provides protection for requested territories for a certain period of time. Lulu's is one of those offices. What they are protecting against, you ask? The city, obviously. What I'm saying is their job is to keep the area safe from all sorts of happening and incidents that occur in the city. Of course, there won't be much to do if an area is small or peaceful. But man, compared to us, who have to wait indefinitely for someone to make a request, Lulu's living the good life. At least she does something, and then don't have to worry about starving to death if they don't get requests. Now I imagine Lulu's friends are here to fill in some more lore here in the associated offices with Zwei and other associations. Have it just a bit easier because they get paid anyway. They get paid to guard an area. Lulu's other friend. It makes me angry though that there's a page 1 and a page 3. But no page 2. Page 2 doesn't exist. It's not that I don't have it. It doesn't exist. So we're going on to page 3. Apparently page 2 just isn't a thing. Makes me angry. As her friend, it's fortunate that Lulu is struck with grief. I don't have any tears to shed for her, though. I've got my share of rough experiences, but I'm not sharing it with others. Well, I did say that I'd help her out, but the truth is, my office figured that we could find plenty of valuable loot in the library. And that's pretty tempting. The other one is probably thinking the same thing as me. I mean, what a dummy would actually attach would actually head to such a dangerous place motivated purely by a friend's sob story. Ugh. That kind of intimate, deep relationship is gone from this world, especially in business. That's why I can't understand Lulu. Sure, let's say that her colleague died, and even then, she should be valuing her own life, shouldn't she? Shouldn't be so stupid at times. Well, I have to go in with her anyway. I like to think that Lulu is actually kind of, because Lulu is so sweet and a little naive and everything, that she does charm people a bit. And that's why she's got these friends. That's why they came to her beck and call. Sure, there's something in it for them. That helps. But also, she's a sweetie and it should help. And now, the dad that brought these two babies together. Sam. An associate office is one that is in a cooperation relationship with one of the associations. The advantage of this designation is that fixers will not have to worry about starving since they're paid a stable salary, and that the office simply has to handle tasks given by the association with proficiency, rather than having to deal with clients and accept their requests as ordinary offices do. Spending days without an incident happening in the area designated for peacekeeping can be admittedly boring, though it's a blessing to have such a peaceful day in the city. I was grateful to have such serenity each day, reasoning with Lulu's occasional complaints. Is boredom the only downside of being an associate office? That's not quite true. Because we're under the direct command of the association, we're forced to take on any undesirable tasks they give, even if it carries the risk of wiping out the office. I can't blame the association, so I only have myself to fault for failing to save my guys. And again, San has that glimmer of humanity that a lot of characters in Library of Ruina have just discarded about themselves because they literally cannot afford to have it without ruining themselves somehow. Ruiner, ha 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 ha. I made it funny. And this really pins together what associate officers are. We do meet some other associate officers later down the line, and we kind of, again, we're slowly seeing more and more of that hierarchy that was starting to be introduced. Of what the actual associations are. So we've got the back streets, people in the back streets, we've got syndicates, then you've got offices, then you've got associate offices, which aren't really higher than other offices, but they are more stable than other offices, and then associates above them. And there's even more to this hierarchy chain, but we will find that out next time. Or wait, we'll find out a little bit more of it next time when we talk about Zwei Association 2. I hope you found out something interesting, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.